All right, welcome back to Community Voices Gun Violence Roundtable. My name is Omari Salisbury and joined now by Alicia Dassa. How are you?
Hey, hi. It's good to be here.
Man, thank you so much for taking time and also sharing with us. When we talk about community members that have experienced loss, it's always a difficult and emotional conversation. So
For
I want
sure.
to say thank you. But before I jump into it, we talked about this before because some of these news clips sometimes can trigger people, and so we talked about before that we are going to play this. There's a clip here where it's coverage after after your son was killed. This is King 5 right here, and then we'll talk about this.
At least 2 people are dead this.
We love you all.
Alicia Dassa-Holland.
We love you.
Is just beginning to mourn the loss of her son Connor, finding compassion among her grief.
Whoever did this to my son, that baby needed a hug. That baby needed more love in their life.
Seattle police don't know who shot at the car 18-year-old Connor was in Sunday night. He was hit by a bullet and would later die at Harborview Medical Center. Police are now asking for the community's help, a community that's hurting.
And we have to figure out how to make sure every kid in this community and every community is loved, that they get enough love.
And this is why one of the reasons we're here today is to make sure that his legacy is not marred. We're not going to move on. We're going to talk about all of the greatness that Connor is and was, and we got to make sure that his name is not dragged through the mud like this was just some kind of gang-related, gangland shooting.
At a time where large gatherings are discouraged, the death of the Rainier Beach teen drew such a crowd that police shut down 51st for blocks. Not concerned with the size of the crowd, instead letting the vigil take place.
Connor would not want us to be silent. He would not want us to be sad.
Connor was the captain of his football team, his senior class president, and had just recently committed to the University of Washington.
There are no words for the pain we feel. There are no words for the anger that we feel.
As police work to catch her son's killer, this mom doesn't want her pain to turn to anger or even fear.
I was never afraid in this neighborhood. Never. And I will not be afraid moving forward.
In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
Yeah, Alicia. There's the death, the murder of your son. It also impacted us. My son, little O, was very good friends with your son, with Connor. And before I jump into discussion with you, I remember my approach on a lot of what's happening out here is that, like a lot of people, my prayers go out to them. I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers go out. But it was when Omari was so impacted by Connor's murder, and this thick skin that it built up around me started to come down. I wanted to play a clip from the morning show the next day after we heard about the murder.
I want to welcome my brother Willard Jemison.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for allowing me to be on this wonderful platform.
So, man, I'll be honest with you, Willard. When we talk about this conversation around youth violence, in particular the murder on Sunday, I got to thinking that, like, man, I'm real ashamed of a few things. I'm ashamed of the fact that people have been dying, and I've kind of somewhat been indifferent. Like, man, that's too bad. Prayers to the family. We got to do better as a community. But I'm ashamed of this murder because my son, Omari, was good friends with Connor. So now it's impacting me. But in impacting me, I thought about, what about all these other young people who have died, who I was like, man, hope they be all right. Hope the family's good. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel ashamed of that.
Yeah, we talked fairly soon after I watched you talk that morning, and I told you I was feeling the same way. The night that Connor was shot, I didn't even get out of bed. initially. Someone had to come and get me up because we hear gunshots all the time. And I had become so immune to the sound that I didn't even think for 1 second that it would be affecting us. We've lived in Rainier Beach since 2008. And, you know, our kids grow up there. We have a 9-year-old who's growing up there now. And since Connor's death, our family and our friends, our close friends, have been affected. Christopher DeAndre Roberts was killed. My son's uncle, and also went to high school or middle school with our oldest son. Adriel Webb, whose mom we've been friends with since high school, and Connor was friends with Adriel. Jamez Johnson. I mean, the list goes on. And these are since Connor. You know, I'm tired of funerals. I'm tired of balloon releases for birthdays. I don't know what's happening right now. I don't remember a time where it was this bad for for a while. 2010, I think, was the last time I remember hearing gunshots incessantly. But I work for public health. I feel like we have a job to do. And I feel like right now, as a community and as parents, and I'm just at a loss. I'm at a loss for where we are, what we can do. It's so overwhelming in the last few months. You know, Connor was killed on Mother's Day. We got to be with our boy. Most people don't get that. Jimmy and I were with him right after it happened. That is not something I wish on my worst enemy. That's not something that you recover from easily or ever. I'm not really sure. What I know is Connor's gone. And we're here.
Right. You know, in that news clip that we played there from King 5, you said that whoever did this to your baby needed a hug. What do you mean by that?
I think that kids right now are disconnected in some way from feeling empathy for other people, from feeling important. You know, kids who feel important or people who feel important, they don't take other people's gifts away. You can't take someone's life if you feel valued and important. I don't see how that can happen. And so if kids are feeling supported and loved, and families are feeling supported so they can be the best that they can be, parents to their kids, I think that changes the dynamic. I think it changes the respect that people have for human life. I think it changes the respect that people have for community. If you find ownership in your community and you find, you know, even if you're not feeling safe in one place, you know that there's all these other folks that have your back. That changes something for kids. That changes something for people in general. It gives you that power and that voice back that allows you to do positive things and allows you to share in joy and in success instead of going the other way.
Right. But before we'll let you go here, I've actually got some pictures that we'll put up of Connor. What do you want our audience to know about your son?
Connor was the best brother, big brother and little brother. He was a freshman at the University of Washington. He was studying to be a lawyer for social justice and equity. He loved Rainier Beach. He grew up here. This is where he wanted to be. This is where he wanted to come back to and serve the community as an adult. He had very different ideas about how the world should work. And he wanted to share that with everybody. He thought they should all think that way. So what do I want people to know? Connor won't be forgotten. We won't allow that to happen. Connor's legacy will move on with his siblings and with us and his friends. And we're here, we're in it. And we want to do everything we can to make sure that other families don't continue to feel the way we feel. And I guess we want it to be better. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm willing to get dirty to figure it out.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to host this show. I didn't have a problem putting it together.
I'm not crying, you don't get to cry. We're still too fresh for this.
Good luck with that one. I just want to say that it's unfortunate that it took, the murder of your son and my son being impacted to soften my heart and to actually start paying attention again to what was going on out here. And it's because my son was so impacted by the loss of your son that I was like, what am I doing? We have a platform. We have these things. We need to get, get our hands dirty in the community. And so, as usual, I want you to know we're here for you.